Hey there, it's Sharon here, and I am going to be doing some freeze drying today, and I'm working on cherries. I wanted to get a video before I do it and show you my trays, and then I'll get another video when we're done, and I'll show you how they turn out. So these cherries came out of my freezer. Actually, they were previously frozen 2 years ago, and so they really need to be taken out of the freezer and used up. It's cherry season right now, and so nobody's wanting to eat the frozen cherries. In fact, that's why I remembered that they were in my freezer. If any of you ever have a freezer that things get lost in, I remembered that these were in here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and freeze dry them. I am filling my trays fairly light. Normally when you're freeze drying, you can have a solid single layer. There doesn't have to be all the spaces in between. But just because I don't really have enough to fill all 4 trays, this one is a little bit fuller. And I also read that cherries take a really long time to freeze dry because they've got a lot of juice, not juice, actually they have a lot of sugar in them, and so it just takes a little bit longer. So I figured, well, this will be a light load, it maybe won't take quite as long. And so my freeze dryer is on. I just turned it on to get it to pre-freeze a little bit. These are out of the freezer. I did rinse them with warm water just to break them up because they came out of the freezer in clumps, you know, how they stick together. So I'm just going to go put these in there, and then I will track how long it takes and let you know how it goes. And I think I mentioned, but they are pitted. Make sure that you pit your cherries before you put them in your freeze dryer, because if you don't pit them, they're all sealed up and they just won't dry properly because that skin kind of seals everything off. So anyway, I'll be back in, I don't know, 30 hours or so. Thanks. Hey there. Okay, so this is like a day and a half later. The cherries are finished. I just took them out. They actually finished in the middle of the night last night. I don't know exactly what time, but the total time was 38 hours. So it took a long time, even longer than I thought. But oh my gosh, are they really, really good. Let me show you what I have here. This is the trays. This is what the cherries look like when they're done. And they're really tasty. They basically taste like a crunchy cherry. So super nice snack, great for, I would imagine this would be great like for trips, for road trips, because it'd be nice and light. You can put them in a Ziploc bag. These will not be going into long-term storage because I am certain that they will be eaten very soon. So I just have a half-gallon jar here. I'm gonna put the cherries in here, put a canning lid on top because that seals nice and tight. If you have any kind of a lid with a rubber seal, you wanna keep it airtight, just keeps them fresher, especially if you live in a really humid area. You know, the dryness is what is preserving them. Cherries, they're really good. Oh, one thing, if I do cherries again, I will do them with full trays and compare the time and just see if I really saved myself any time by not having the full trays. If you remember when I loaded my trays, I mentioned that I kind of had them light. I could have fit a lot more on here. Probably could have fit like double on here. And if that's so and it doesn't save any time, then I might as well do a fuller load, a more full load, and have more cherries for the same amount of time, because it did take a really long time. Cherries are very sweet, lots of sugar, and anything with more sugar is going to take longer. So 38 hours was my result. Check it out. Go to simplycanning.com, and I have a page all about the freeze dryer. It's a canning page, but I do have information about freeze drying as it's another type of food preservation. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you later.